is this a good case for our spinal project and why is it important? Hong Kong is an international city and around 8.4% of the population is non-Chinese. Our friends and colleagues are likely to be non-Chinese people. So why is it significant in Hong Kong? According to the Race Relations Unit Information Center, the 2021 population census found that there were about 619,568 non-Chinese people in Hong Kong, which accounts for approximately 8.4% of the population, meaning that roughly every 1 in 10 Hong Konger is a part of the ethnic minority community. Despite contributing to such a significant proportion of the Hong Kong population, there are numerous systematic inequalities in the aspects of education, finding jobs, and climbing the social ladder. In order to advance as a society in the context of Hong Kong, it is imminent that we prioritize breaking down these injustices and improving them for all groups of citizens in order to promote social justice, closing the achievement gap in schools, enhancing diversity and inclusivity in education and the workplace, providing all populations with the equal platform to contribute to society. This is Amber. Her parents are from Pakistan, but she was born and raised in Hong Kong. She is currently a second-year student studying medicine at the University of Hong Kong. As you would expect, the journey she took to reach this point has been a long and hard one, showcasing several systematic issues ethnic minority youth faces in Hong Kong today. She went to a primary school where the majority of the students are non-Chinese. The school only offered one level of Chinese difficulty, regardless of a student's ability, and did not provide the division of mainstream and non-mainstream Chinese curriculum. With no one to teach her Chinese at home, she had to depend on local community centers for assistance. However, most of the teachers had the mindset of, Chinese is not your mother tongue, so you won't learn it anyway. And thus, she graduated with a primary 3 Chinese reading ability and not being able to speak in full sentences in Chinese. Luckily, her grades were good and she got into a renowned secondary school. However, as the majority of students were Chinese, she had to be separated for Chinese lessons to learn the IGCSE curriculum. In Form 1, she attempted to study the mainstream curriculum alongside her local peers, but failed due to the huge gap in Chinese ability. Starting from Form 2, she went to a small class of 3 other students to relearn the basics of Chinese. Despite the odds, she eventually managed to speak conversational Cantonese and have basic writing abilities. Even then, she feels as though that she could have been much better at Cantonese if she had been taught appropriately at an earlier age. Most of the non-Chinese students would automatically group together as a social tactic to feel less left out by the rest. It was not like her local peers were isolating her, but she always felt left out when she didn't understand their media references or jokes in Cantonese, thereby even further limiting her opportunities to speak Cantonese or form social connections. Despite her good grades and excellent conduct, she was further questioned by teachers on her leadership abilities, comparing her to a previous non-Chinese student who was rebellious and misbehaved. This was uncalled for, and the teachers were entirely unprofessional. However, this only proved to her how bias is embedded even within the teachers. In other situations, others would also have the false preconception that non-Chinese students are less responsible, more difficult to communicate with, and more rebellious. She proceeded to take up the leadership positions despite having to be interviewed the second time, while her local peers were not. From these positions, she was able to enrich her university applications with her experiences and opened up many more opportunities from there on out. Starting from Form 5, many of her classmates gave in to the practice of religiously attending tutorial classes and buying enormous amounts of exercise practice to do outside of lessons and homework assignments. As she comes from a humble background, affording these resources or courses is not a viable option. With such intense competition, this is an uneven playing ground for students from different financial backgrounds. Moreover, living in a public housing estate in a really noisy and cramped environment makes it close to impossible for her to focus for long periods of time. Prior to her university interview, she intensively practiced Chinese speaking as it was a prerequisite for entry into the HKU MBBS program. However, she knew many peers from both her school and outside that did not have a chance as they were unable to speak Cantonese fluently at all. By giving them these chances, we can all move towards a more socially and diverse society where everyone can play an important role while being heard. There have been attempts to mitigate the inequality between locals and ethnic minorities. However, there is more that can and should be done. After interviewing local Chinese people, we found that the stereotypes of ethnic minorities mostly arise from unfamiliarity and influence of the media. Firstly, corporations and different commercial brands should take part in enhancing quality due to their huge influential powers. This can be done by including ethnic minorities in media and ads, such as commercial videos about ethnic minorities' real stories and ethnic minority models for product advertisements. Through increasing media coverage, the general public can get a glimpse of what real ethnic minorities are like and be more familiar with faces different from them. It is also important to involve ethnic minorities in the process, like hiring them as social media managers. They should be overseeing the production and provide feedback so that the products would not be biased towards Chinese perspectives. Moreover, education is a crucial step in raising social awareness. There should be more open discussion in institutions about the world's racism issue and discrimination. More racial topics should be included in the school curriculum, such as the significance of ethnic equality and the harm of stereotypes. Schools and governments should take up the role of debunking misconceptions and encouraging people to treat others with respect. Education should not solely be based on theories. It is vital to also gain direct and first-hand experience with minority groups, which local students lack in real life. The involvement of ethnic minorities in the process and regular review are of utmost importance to prevent unconscious reinforcement and endorsement of racism and out-of-date content. To combat this, the NCS curriculum must be updated starting from kindergarten and primary. Considering that NCS students come from a variety of backgrounds, kids in kindergarten must first have a common language to build upon. Emphasis on teaching English first and foremost is crucial in kindergarten. In primary school, both English and Chinese will be taught. Curriculum change will be carried out by the Education Bureau and applied by schools to help NCS learn both languages in their critical learning stage. Secondly, schools ought to hire specified bilingual teachers, fluent in both English and Cantonese, to teach in NCS classes and provide incentive for local teachers to become more equivalent in English. Although NCS classes already exist in schools, many are taught by Chinese teachers. Without the proper English medium to guide them, the effectiveness of their teaching to NCS is low. Specialized bilingual NCS teachers may be rewarded with higher wages. To determine that they are bilingual, they may be accessed by international standardized tests such as IELTS. Lastly, NCS classes should not be completely separate from their local counterparts, although it seems counterintuitive for them to be put together due to language differences. It is actually crucial in their exchanges to one another. Starting this in primary school is especially important. Local students should build familiarity with their classmates and communicate with them in both languages. This helps with reducing bias through human-to-human interaction and facilitates learning of Chinese and English for both local students and NCS alike. In conclusion, ethnic minority communities in Hong Kong, while forming a significant fraction of the population, continue to grapple with sustainable challenges. They often find themselves marginalized, underrepresented, and misunderstood. These communities confront fundamental obstacles in education, social integration, and economic opportunities, primarily due to language barriers and prevailing stereotypes. Although there are inspiring instances of resilience and determination, these individual successes underscore the need of systematic and institutional charges to level the playing field for all. Our research suggests potential areas for improvement, such as enhancing the media representation of ethnic minorities, which could play a crucial role in breaking down stereotypes and fostering a more inclusive society. Another pivotal strategy lies in revamping the education system to better cater to non-Chinese speaking students. This could involve developing more comprehensive and inclusive language policies, offering additional support for students and teachers, and implementing fairer assessment methods. However, these solutions are merely the starting point. Achieving true inequality requires sustained commitment and collective action from all sectors of society: the government, educational institutions, corporations, and individuals. In this endeavor, understanding and empathy must be the driving forces. Drawing on the words of Martin Luther King, Jr., injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The ultimate goal must be to create a Hong Kong where everyone, irrespective of their ethnic background, feels accepted, valued, and is given equal opportunities to thrive. The vision of Hong Kong is not just beneficial for ethnic minorities, but it enriches the entire society by fostering diversity, understanding, and shared prosperity. It is a vision that we must all strive to realize.